Hello, I'm glad of your company today. I'm Esther from Stampin' Up Creations and I've got 3 stamp sets I'm afraid that I'm using today. Waterfront and Rooted in Nature and the birds from High Tide. So I've gone ahead already and got myself a piece of Whisper White measuring 3 7/8 by 5 5/8, and I'm carefully thinking about where I'm placing my mask, which I've cut out using the 2 1/4 circle bunch. And I want it, if you can imagine that the page is in half, the circle is just going underneath the half of the page, if that makes sense. So I'm going in first with Saffron and using these new makeup brushes that a lot of people are using for blending. So I tend to take off the excess first before going on in a circular motion and just rubbing on the colour onto the card. So tapping and sort of going in a circular motion on your ink pad, and this helps to pick up the ink. I'm going to go in a bit with Pineapple Punch because this is loosely inspired by The Lion King, and when I quickly looked at, I made a boo-boo. When I looked online at it, I thought, oh, there's quite a bright bit of yellow in the middle. So rather than starting again, because I'd already attempted this card a few times, I decided to go ahead. Despite the boo-boo, I went over my mask, so just be careful when you do that. Too busy sponging on that I didn't realise that I went over. But that Pineapple Punch just helps to give that highlight in the middle of the sun. Next I'm going in with Calypso Coral and just laying down the next colour and blending it in with the sunshine that's already on the paper. Now it does take time to build up the colour, so I've kept this, I have sped this up a little bit just to give you an idea of how long it takes. And I would say don't worry too much if it's not looking perfect, because we are going to stamp over the blending and the circle mask as well. So just keep adding. Don't be scared to keep re-inking and adding more. And then I'm going in with Cherry Cobbler, starting at the very edges and then working my way in with that colour. So the whole idea is to blend the colours to make it look natural. I'm using my Stamparatus, which is a stamp positioning tool, so it works a bit differently where you place a stamp first and then you pick it up and ink it rather than using a block. And going in with Tuxedo black Momento ink, doing like a twisting motion to make sure the ink applies, and then I'm going to re-ink it to get a really nice black image onto my page. Now, like I said, I did have several versions of this. I quite liked it with the tree by itself, but typical me, I wanted to do a bit more scene building. I added in the mountains from the Waterfront set, and in hindsight I should have brought the mountains a bit lower under the tree, or away from the tree a bit more, but you know, I couldn't change it, so I carried on. And then just using that other stamp in the set to just ground the tree so it wasn't floating in midair. And then here comes the birds from High Tide. It just helped to complete the look that I was going for. And I smudged on the page because I had a bit of ink left over, but I went in again and I managed to finish the birds. Just filling in the bottom half of the page with my blending brushes again, just so it didn't look so pale. I go ahead and mount that on some black card, just applying some Tombow glue. Now, after I stuck this down, I realised that I forgot a bit of the process that I was going to add to it. Now, in hindsight, I don't know whether I should have just left it as it was. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me what you prefer, whether you preferred it without the clouds that I'm going to now add on. So using the same stamp that I used to ground the tree, I'm going to stamp off once, so I've got a lighter shade of the black, and create these cloud shapes in the sky. There was a lot of space there, so I figured that I could fill it with clouds, but also, as I said, because it was kind of Lion King inspired, I noticed they had clouds in one of their scenes, so I added it in. Still not convinced. I don't know either way. I think if I had a choice, I probably would have started the card all over again, but as I said, I'd already tried several attempts at making this and I wasn't going to do it again. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked today's card. Do give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos if you like this one. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.